Irvin Hayes, who is the Principal Production Manager at Autodesk. Irvin's going to be doing most of the presentation today, so I'm going to hand the reins over to Irvin. Thanks, Irvin, for coming and doing this for us.
Absolutely, Phil. Thank you very much. And thanks to KETIV, all of KETIV, for inviting me year to year to talk to you all on Vault and what we do new in the product from year to year and update to update. So again, as Phil stated, my name is Irvin Hayes. I am the Principal Product Manager here at Autodesk. I've been working here for now, it'll be 20 years this August. So I've been here for a very long time, always worked on the Autodesk product line. And I know some of you who are actually just chimed in and joined the meeting, so welcome. So we're going to jump right into the message here. I'm going to actually cover Vault 2026 as well as our just released 2026.1 update. We released that earlier this week, so I want to highlight some of the features that are in that one as well as just in general with the 2026 update. With Vault 2026, what we did was we changed our focuses on different types of themes. We are going to talk about product features that go with our workflow efficiency, our group management, install and deployment, and some interoperability and connectivity themes throughout this presentation. So let's jump right into the bones here. We have enhanced the move command. We're talking about workflow efficiencies here. A lot of our customers and users have been having difficulty with the way the move command had worked in the past. The move command would allow you to move a file, it would take you to that destination location, but it wouldn't guarantee or prompt you, are you sure you want to move this? So we had a lot of users that were moving files back and forth between different folders, and they were doing it by accident, and they didn't realize that that had happened, and it just becomes a challenge by doing these accidental moves. So now what we did was we added a prompt to verify or confirm that the user wanted to move that file from one location to the next. We've also added some capabilities in there that wants to make sure you are prompted whether you want to move it, what's going to happen after the move, where's the focus goes. So if you move a file from one location to the other location, do you want to actually the focus to go to that destination location, or do you just want to keep it where you're at because maybe you're going to select some more files to move? So we added some more prompt options inside of the client so that you can control these prompts as well. And then there's a hidden config file that's in there that actually I think we fixed that. It's now another configuration inside here that will actually tell you, allow you to configure where the focus goes. So we've added that one as a feature. Reuse library files in the copy design. Copy design is still one of our most powerful features inside of Vault. And there were some accidental copies of some library files. So obviously with the data management solution, you want to reduce duplicates of your files inside of the Vault. You know, that'll explode the file store. It'll be unnecessary duplicates and it'll be hard to clean up. Library components are one of those. So now you can go into copy design, you can set this always reuse library files option. And then all the library files, regardless of how you set up your prompts or how you configure the actions for other models, will always be reused by default. There's a couple different methods in there to do it. If you have this option turned on, if you think you've accidentally turned on a library file to be copied, you can go through and you can right click on it and say reuse branch or reuse library files in this branch. And then it will make sure it'll go through and reuse all the library components. Inside of the Vault client in our UDPs, we've added the ability to have hyperlinks. This has been a much wanted feature. So now inside of any type of UDP, as long as you type in a specific format, which I'll show you here shortly, you can have hyperlinks that are already active and clickable inside of the Vault client to take you to wherever that destination is. It does require a specific format, so we do put this in the help, so you'll have it there. So it's normal, what called markup language format. So you can put in the straight URL, you can put in the URL with some display text, or you can actually put in an email address with an email display text as well. It works in all properties, regardless of where it's at, whether it's in a change order, whether it's in the project explorers on files, or it's even in an item. All of them are supported across the board. Job processor. We know that a lot of our users use the job processor, and they have a lot of end users, which means the job queue is full a lot of the time. It depends on how many job processors you have, but in any case, if you have a critical job that needs to be executed as quickly as possible, certain users with the right permissions can right-click on any pending job in the queue, select the set to top priority, and then that will actually take that particular job and put it at the top of the queue. This allows you to execute some jobs faster or again with priority, and get them done quicker. Again, only certain users with the right permissions can actually do this, not every user. The thin client link properties. So we've been asked for this for a very long time. We've had it in the email as an option when you want to do send an email, but now actually we have a dynamic property called link to thin client. So if you ever needed the link to the thin client right in there where you wanted to copy and paste it, or you just wanted to open it and see what it looked like in the thin client, we now provide that as an additional property that you can add to your grid. So you can just customize the fields, grab the link to thin client property or field, and then put it into the grid. And one of our long-time requests is the ability to have a trash bin. Prevent the users from accidentally deleting the files, right? So today, if you had a file delete permission and you actually had the capabilities of deleting the file, what would happen is that file gets deleted, all of its history is gone, and there's no way to easily retrieve that. So now what we do is with this update, or with 2026, it automatically will turn on the enable trash bin configuration. So now the user, with no need to understand how this works, from the delete standpoint, will still be able to delete a file. That file, instead of being permanently deleted, will go into the trash bin, and then they can continue on their work. If they accidentally deleted that file, they can go into the trash bin, or someone else can go into the trash bin and then retrieve the file that they accidentally deleted. When it's there in the trash bin, it still retains where it was deleted from. It retains all of its file relationships, whether it was a parent, a child to another model, etc. The history is still there, and you can obviously retrieve that information as quickly as possible. As an administrator, I can go through and set the option to delete the trash bin or delete the object that's been in the trash bin for longer than 30 days, which means if I put in a couple of files in today, then 30 days from now, those files will be deleted automatically. So it's based on the time that the file was added to the trash bin, not actually every calendar 30 days. So this is configurable by the administrator, again, to either turn on this automatic delete or not to turn that on. So here's the restore permissions that you can use. So when you're actually in the trash bin and you find the file that you want to restore, you right click on it, and you can say restore. Administrators will have the option to permanently delete it if they only want to delete certain files. That way you can move along and keep going. Now, there are some tricks to this also that you'll come to learn. This doesn't act like the Windows Explorer recycle bin. That's why we didn't call it that. So because this retains information about where it came from, the folder it was originally residing in, as in this example, if I were trying to create a new file in the same folder that this Bolt connection was in, it will not allow me to. So the check-in will say that this file already exists. So you'll have to learn how to check the trash bin to see if a file with the same name is in the trash bin, and you may have to delete just that file so you can add it back to the folder. What this does is this allows us to restore that file back to that same folder, which is why we can't allow another file in with the same name. All right, so let's move over to growth management. So a lot of our customers are large. You've all been with us for a very long time, which means that your file store has grown to a very large size. So we have a lot of customers that their file stores in the terabytes when it comes to size. So we've introduced here a project and data archive feature. What we're doing here is we're trying to optimize the file store location so that you can actually recover from disasters. You can actually optimize your backup and restore functionality, and then still keep all of the data, though, available to the user. Any file can be archived, and it's archived from that version and older. So if you right-click on any file and you want to archive it, you can right-click on it again, archive it. You can right-click on an entire folder and archive that entire folder. If a new file is created or a new version of that file is created, the new version or the latest version is not archived. So you will see this in history in the archive status historical property, which version has been archived. So again, if you have 5 versions of the particular file and you have on the 5th version, you said archive it, those versions 1 through 5 are in the archive. If you add a 6th version, that version is in the production archive or the production file store. It has not been archived at all. So again, our goal here was to allow some cleanup on a regular basis of the file store location. We're physically moving the file from a production file store location over to an archive file location, and then giving some more backup capabilities that the administrator can take control of. So all the administrator has to do is open up the ADMS console. He's going to right-click on the vault and select an archive file store location. Once this is turned on, you cannot turn it off. So if you're not really ready to do so, do not turn it on, but it will be permanently on from that point on. You will choose that file store location for the archive, and then from that point on, it's on schedule, whether you do it manually or whether you do a archive based on lifecycle transition. Next is the automatic account disablement. So we know that a lot of you may have interns, you may have other collaborators who you gain or allowed access into your Vault, and you've created a Vault account for them. You can actually disable that account on a specific date. So what we're doing here is it doesn't matter the authentication method they were using, the entire account for that user will be disabled on the date selected. So it doesn't require manual intervention to disable that account, but as soon as you set it on that date, it will be disabled. This allows you to work with those users in a project type sense, you know, where there is a fixed date. And then again, the administrator doesn't have to remember, because we will automatically go and delete that account, or not delete, excuse me, disable the account for you. Let's just talk about quickly the install and deployment. So we have now taken the Vault server and we put it into the new install framework. So it doesn't have the old look and feel, it does have the new look and feel to be consistent with our other products. This will allow us to give easier updates to the Vault server, as well as control how easier it is to actually do the installation, whether it be a fresh install or an upgrade. Deploying the client configuration is phase 2. We've done this before in the past. We started off really early with creating the framework and giving some other small options of what kind of management that the administrator can deploy, like the grid settings. Now, this time, we've actually included the Vault client options, the copy design settings, the Vault add-in settings as well. And now you can configure those and distribute those as an administrator. We will continue to work on this as new features will come along. We'll probably add some more capabilities for the deployment configurations, but we've added this now in 2026. Let's move on to interoperability. For those of you who are developers, or you have developers on staff, we have now transferred our current or existing SDKs over to some REST APIs, and we're calling these the Vault Data APIs. What we're intending this for is to give you real-time data access to Vault data from an external application or integration. Make it scalable so that when you're going from one release to the next, or you're trying to scale out to go to more applications, you can do so. Making it flexible so it's easier to maintain from one release to the next. And again, just to extend that Vault data collaboration to those users who need it. More information is on our online help, and as well as on the platform help to try and help you use all of these APIs. So with that, let's jump into what's new in Vault 2026.1. We just released that earlier this week. So let's jump into that and just talk about what we did there. Again, we enhanced some more workflow efficiencies in this one, and these were based off of some of the idea posts that you all have participated in, maybe you have voted on as well. So again, copy design being one of our most popular tools, we have added another feature to it. So as you're going through the copy design process and you want to edit a certain property freehand, you can actually now do so. So as you're going through, again, you select the files that you want to copy. You're going to add the columns of the properties that you want to edit, enter in that information, and then you can start or execute the copy design process. And then at the end, the copy design process will also enter in the new values for those properties. So this one had a 163 volt on our idea board. And so now we've actually implemented that as a feature. The numbering scheme. The numbering scheme used to not have the ability to set it a default numbering scheme in copy design. So now an administrator or a user can go through and now select the numbering scheme that should always be used by default, and it will be used at that point in time. Another idea post was to automatically attach PDFs to the item update or assign item workflow. So now if you're producing those PDFs along with your drawings, your IDWs or DWGs that are associated with your models, those PDFs, when you do the assign item process, will be brought right along with the model file and with the drawing file. So this will automatically be attached in that particular workflow. Update properties enhancement. So what this actually is, as you know today, if you're inside of Inventor as an example, and you're opening up a model file, or let's say a part, and when you check it out, we automatically prompt you or prompt the user to update the properties, and the user can say yes or no. What didn't happen before is that if you're in the client, you right click on one of these files and you select open, this prompt doesn't exist or it didn't happen. So our designers were forgetting that the properties needed to be updated. So now what we do is when you now select that file and you open it from the Vault client, we will prompt you if you want to update the properties. So we made it consistent with the added to eliminate the possibilities that the users are forgetting to update the properties as part of that process. Batch plot enhancements. So now we tried to make our batch plot enhancements or batch plot more friendly or more usable for our users. Instead of going and launching the batch plot manager dialog and then adding all of the files or the things that you want to plot, we brought that those commands out to the general Vault Explorer grid. So now if you have a file that you're looking at in Project Explorer and you actually want to plot all of the associated representation files, you can actually do that now from the Files menu instead of going completely into the Plot Manager, having a bunch more clicks to get it done. But now it's really simple. Just select the assembly, go to the File menu, select Plot, and say Plot Related Design Representation Files. It's going to collect them all for you and then put them in the Plot Manager. So our attempt here is to make it more efficient, save you a lot of clicks, and make it quicker for you to get through this process. Icons, the layout enhancements. So we have increased the size of the view here for icons to make it easier for you to find design files or any type of file based on its thumbnail. So now you have the option of a small icon, medium, large, and an extra large icon. Before you actually just had small and large. So this gave us the ability to, again, show you the largest size thumbnail that's actually stored in the CAD file and display it right in the thick client. And therefore you can actually see them at that point. So it makes it easier for you to find these things by visual instead of, doing searches and things like that. Let's jump into collaboration. So the thin client enhancements, again, we're continuing to enhance the thin client for those users who are using it. One part of that enhancement here is now being able to resize that properties grid and also make it stuck or sticky. So if you're resizing the property grid because you need more space for whatever reason, it will remain that size. It is stored, it's locked. So the next time you go into it, it is a persistent panel and it's persistent size. So you'll see that in that particular update. This is another one that had an idea post that we have executed. So we made it easier for you inside of the viewer to switch between sheets when you're looking at a drawing. Before, you had to open up the document layout and then singly click on each of the sheets that you wanted to look at. Now all we did was add an easier navigation button in the lower right hand corner, so you can just click that and go between all of the sheets. Some more things on connectivity now. So with the 2026.1 update, we have introduced now what we're calling the Vault connector. The Vault connector connects Vault Pro to Fusion Manage out of the box. It's a really simple installation and a simple configuration to connect the two products so that you can do on-premise PDM with cloud PLM functionality. We are using or transporting the items and BOM information from Vault and sending it over to Fusion Manage, and then allowing you to do the Fusion Manage processes. You can also do the change orders, change requests, all of the other things that Fusion Manage does very well as a PLM solution. And again, keeping these things in sync between Vault Professional items and BOMs and Fusion Manage items and BOM workflows. The setup is pretty simple. You're going to start off in the AWS console, go to the global settings, and then you're going to sign in with a service account. So that service account is an Autodesk ID that is not used by a user, and you're going to sign in, and that particular user account is what's going to be used to transfer information back and forth. We're not using the job processor here because I know that's a common question that I always get. This is an agent that's running on the server in the back end as a service, and it's going to be doing all of the communications between Vault and Fusion Manage. Once you've done that, you're going to go into the client, log into the Vault that you want to connect to Fusion Manage, and then you're going to give us the tenant name. So in the top field, you're going to say Fusion Manage tenant, enter in that URL of just the base URL of the tenant, and then it's going to come up and say, right, or show you in the dropdown for what Vault items you want to map to a Fusion Manage workspace. So you're going to select an items workspace. It will not connect or sync to any other type of workspace, so it has to be an items workspace. Once you have that, we have your property mappings. So your mappings are set up to map Vault properties, item and BOM properties to Fusion Manage item and BOM properties. We do have a default set of mappings. You may not have all of the mappings actually there, but they are included so that you can start from some mappings that we've predefined. So you can hit the Use Default button. And if you don't have a mapping set, it will warn you that you have to remove that mapping by default. A lot of information is in our help on this. So if you run into a problem and don't understand what's going on when you get a pop-up through here, refer back to the online help, and we have provided some information and guidance on the mappings themselves. So again, what's going to be synced is the Vault items and BOMs will be sent to Fusion Manage items and BOMs. All of those properties that you have mapped will be synchronized from Vault to Fusion Manage. The one thing to keep in mind is if you're in Fusion Manage and you edit any of these properties, the next synchronization of that item from Vault will overwrite those properties. So you should have unique Fusion Manage properties that are now associated with an item property if you want to keep that information. We have status information inside of the Vault client. So if a synchronization happens, we will tell you if it's successful, if there's an error, is it update or is it out of date? So maybe you've updated the item inside of Vault, but you haven't synchronized it at all yet. So we will tell you that it is out of date. And therefore you can then send another one. That's another synchronization. We will also provide the Fusion Manage URL. So actually, if you're inside of Vault, you right-click on an item that has been synchronized to Fusion Manage. You can right-click on it and select Go to or Open in Fusion Manage, and we'll take you directly to that item inside of Fusion Manage. So we have a lot of things in there that we've done. We will continue to work on everything that I've shown you before, and also the enhancements requests that you all have done. And with that, that is what I wanted to present today. So we can open up the door for Q&A. I don't see anything in the chat window at this point, unless
I have some stuff in that came in through YouTube. One of them is, okay. Are these features available in Vault Basic?
They are not. Let's see. I have to go back and look, but most of them are not available in Vault Basic.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Another one is, can certain jobs automatically at a higher, can certain jobs automatically at a higher priority, set at a higher priority? I would think they're saying.
Okay, so they're asking about this set job to top priority. At this point, no, the priority number is already set by the job type. Those are not modifiable at this point. If you have a customization and you have a different priority number, yeah, those will be higher priority, but you can't move them around in that fashion.
One of the other, it was not really a question, more of a statement. Vault needs more RAG integration badly.
RAG integration?
Yeah, capital R, capital A, capital G. I'm not sure exactly what that is.
If they can spell out what that's supposed to mean. I'm not familiar with that. If that is a third-party integration, we're not looking to add more third-party software packages, but yeah, if they can clarify that question, that would be great.
I really do think the connection between Vault and Fusion is a huge thing for
Absolutely.
that integration was much needed for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
And
we are
then-
very
and then-
excited to do that one.
And the new API will also make things a lot easier as well.
Absolutely. We have a lot of people that started using it. We haven't had any currently, or knock on wood, negative feedback on the data APIs. And we're looking to expand those in the future as well. So keep an eye out for those as we continue to develop new enhancements within the coming years.
I got an update to the RAG.
Okay.
Separate server for job processor for AI integration, almost like taking out, I don't know, taking the job processor, all that work out of Vault, or
I see. For that user, I'd probably say pay attention to our feedback community. If you're not in our feedback community, please join our feedback community. We might have some things coming in the future that we are investigating on different ways for the job processor to act. But yeah, it's a common request. Let's put it that way. Now that I understand what they're looking for. Mm-hmm.
Job processor can
Absolutely.
be found.
It can be. It can be. Hopefully, we will continue to working on it. That's the only thing I can say right now. We do hear you. That's why you see a lot of the updates are updates that we do based on request on the ideas board. If you're not on the ideas board, I highly recommend that you join the ideas board, post your ideas there, because I look at them all the time. My development team looks at them as we continue to work on new features, and we try and implement things as quickly as we can, depending on its complexity and where we're going in the future. So definitely, let us know. And don't get discouraged if one sits there for a long time, because it's, as you can see in the previous one, some of them have been there for like 5 years and we just got to them. But yeah, don't make that a stopping factor for participating on the ideas board and posting.
And if you could stop sharing, Irvin, I have some stuff just to finish off.
Absolutely.
It won't allow me to share. Interesting. It says I don't have the ability. Oh, now I do. So before we go, I just wanted to talk about, we do host Vault ourselves in the cloud. We've been doing it for a while now, and I know a lot of people have Vault on-prem, and everything is moving to host it. ERP, all your data, everybody, cloud is the big word now. Well, we do have cloud. We do all the backups, we do all the upgrades for you. We take care of everything. It's like a white glove service. And we're also big on protection as far as your data and data loss, ransomware. On-prem, it's just a little bit more vulnerable. So we were the first company to actually put Vault in the cloud. We now have over 35 customers. Been doing this over 4.5 plus 4 years. Have 100% customer satisfaction. And if you're thinking about moving, here's a nice little QR that can give you some links to talk to us about it. Jason and I were the collaborators to create this Vault in the cloud for customers. If you have any questions, you can contact Jason or I anytime. And if we don't have any more questions, I want to thank.
I saw a couple pop in the Q&A, and I think I popped in some answers there, but
a couple more in the Q&A.
Yeah, it was 2 quick ones in there. No worries.
That we need to answer?
No.
Oh, okay. Irvin, I'd like to thank you for coming today.
My pleasure, Phil and Jason and all of the KETIV family. Always a pleasure to work with you guys and come on to the KETIV Virtual Academy and present these things. So I'm always happy to do so.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank Jason, and I want to thank everybody that joined us today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Awesome.
And if you're at
Bye.
AU, come and see me. Bye.
Bye.